Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah for the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Lathabah Shem Yahushua for the sisters. I'm Police Officer 1000 Shadow Rock of the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General Yohana out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And this is the Wednesday night scripture breakdown class. Okay, now tonight, what I plan to go through is what's America's plan for God's chosen people. First, what is America doing here? What is America actually? What's the underlying undertones of America? How did we get here? Okay, here we are in World War III, going on World War III. And here we are. Shalom, I'll call you back. All right. So here we are on the brink of World War III, the brink of World War III. We have the Strait of Hormuz all closed up. We have the shootings of the Most High's children, okay? The Most High's children are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is what we teach in our school, that you are the chosen children of God. So we have the unaliving of these children, the mass incarcerations, and all these different things about the border patrol, you know, all of the so-called illegal immigrants, you know, getting picked up by ICE and different things like such. So what is the plans for God's chosen people? These are the true Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, you're God's chosen people. America is putting you under great oppression. So much so that now you see brothers coming up, and well, you see sisters coming up and starting up new nail shops because of what happened with the unaliving of Cyrus and that Moabite, which is a Chinese person. That's his biblical tribe, is a Moabite. He unalived Cyrus, this young boy. Okay, and there's a great outrage in the Black community about this. You know, needless to say, you've been seeing it all on the news and everything. You know, and now they got new footage showing that he was actually, you know, damn near innocent of what's going on, really innocent of what happened to him. He got unalived for nothing, for 4 bottles of water. This is what America thinks of you. This is what America thinks of God's chosen people. You Blacks and Hispanics, it's time to wake this up, okay? So the situation is going very viral. And I'm gonna explain something to you about our oppressors. Our oppressors are actually going into their phase of protecting themselves and of not even worried about none of your concerns. So our sisters are putting up beauty shops now. Our sisters are finally waking up and starting to make, starting to reopen the Black community's women's and cosmetic beauty shops, which is a great thing, man. I thought that's so damn honorable, and I hope soon restaurants will start opening up as well. I hope businesses and banks start opening up as well. I hope schools start opening up as well. We need to learn our history. We need to learn who we are, because for so long, everything has been shrouded in mysterious darkness when it comes to us. Mysterious, cloudy misinformation, that we came straight from Africa when we didn't. Our people came from ancient Palestine. Our people came from the true land of Jerusalem, the land of Israel, who they fighting over now. The Lord is not with those people, either one, an Israeli or what do you call it, a Palestinian. Palestinian, that's an Arab person. That's damn near Arab person. You know, that's like from Ishmael. Ishmael's the father of the Arab people, and the Israelis. Those are not the true chosen people of God. The lineage you find them more and more on these social medias. The lineage is not close to Jacob, not close to Jacob and his 12 sons, who comprises the 12 tribes of Israel. We are much more closer than that. Okay, so that being said, let's go to who our oppressor is. What is America? America is based from the 13 colonies that came from England. England are the sons of Esau. Esau was the one who despised his birthright in the beginning of the Bible. Him and Jacob were brothers and twins in Rebekah's womb. And Rebekah felt them striving in the womb. They were fighting in the womb already. You understand? That's your so-called black and so-called YT people. Okay? There were two nations in the womb, and the angel of the Lord explained that to Rebekah. Okay? So they told her to be not troubled, because one nation would be stronger. And Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you are stronger. You are definitely stronger. You know, I don't like to put it on the sports thing, but you know, the New York Knicks won, but they were comprised mostly of Negroes. Both teams, even the Spurs, mostly Negroes that made it and won that championship. You understand? We dominate, and I mean dominate boxing. Ain't no another Mike Tyson, ain't no Sonny Liston, ain't no Muhammad Ali. I mean, ain't no Dr. J, ain't no Julius Erving. I mean, you know, ain't no big old Oscar Robinson, ain't no big old the Mailman and Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. There's no Mahalia Jackson in gospel music. There's no Whitney Houston. Ain't no Shaka Khan. You understand? We created these things, yet still oppressed in this land. The plan for America, for God's chosen people, is nothing but negative subterfuge, picking and being all in our business and making sure that we don't accomplish anything but stay in the ghettos, the barrios, and the reservations, because the Native Indians are also God's chosen people. It's all three of us comprised: Black, Hispanic, and so-called Native Indians. So let's look at our oppressor. I'm going to take it up to Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. Let's look at the book of Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay? They go astray. That means they're not going on the right path. They're estranged from the womb. Since birth, the YT man been estranged from the womb. Understand? That's why he was attacking Jacob, his twin brother, in the womb. And the angels had to tell Rebekah, because she said, "Why am I thus? And why am I thus?" While she was pregnant with her sons. Because it said, "Thou hast two nations will be separated from thy bowels." That's what the angel told her. Because it wasn't a non-common place for an angel to tell a woman what will become of her children, what will become of her child, just like the Nazarene, Samson. Understand? Just like Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew, what will become of them? What would their future be? You understand? So they took on those characteristics as they came into the world and got older. But this says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. As soon as you born, oppressor, YT man, you go astray. You go astray. All right? Very serious. Whoever said that, very serious. Dead on serious. You got the word right. Now pay attention or get out. Understand? So speaking lies. That's the plan for America, to keep us in lies. You understand? We had to go and dig up these records in the Bible. The truth came back to the earth when in 1969, when our school, the Israelite School of Practical Knowledge was established. The truth came back into the earth. The real prophets are here now, and you can't turn us away anymore. No longer will we be pushed into the corners. The prophets are out in the forefront. You can check us out. You know, like I said, above this is isupk.com. We're in almost every country now. Understand? And once all this truth is getting put out, the Lord is sending Christ to come back with that sword to unalive the nation that enslaved our people, the nation that is actually responsible for the Trail of Tears. You understand? All of that. You know, it's too late for you now to talk about cults and all that, because guess what? We had t-shirts years ago. You late, you're on the bandwagon. Yeah, we don't mind you calling us a cult, because we're not. So anyway, back to this. All right, let's get to I'm gonna go into their history. Let's go to First Maccabees. Let's give you a background of this YT man of America. Because see, he's the one who established the 13 colonies. He's the one who broke away from England. And England wasn't no better neither, because you got our brothers in the ISUPK United Kingdom breaking it down, understand, and giving out this truth. No different, man. They hated us then, they hate us now. Understand? Yeah, that's right. So it's about time somebody tells the truth, and we're bold enough to tell this truth and get our brothers and sisters straight. Get your mind out of America. Your mind needs to come out of America. You don't have to go nowhere. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, you don't have to go nowhere. They came here. Let them go. They kidnapped us and bring us here. Let them go. Understand? And the Lord is getting ready to do all of that. I got bad news for you. Your kingdom, Babylon, is falling. Babylon is falling. The daughter of Babylon is America, is falling. All right. President Trump, your president, who you elected, all right, said that it's only going to be about 4 weeks left of this oil supply. How's that going to fit? You know, America is never going to be rise to what that strength that it had from World War II and all of that. All right. It's never going to rise to that. Not again. Thus saith the Lord. Not me. The Lord said Babylon will fall. Babylon, who art to be destroyed. That's America. You understand? All of the bloodshed came from here. Okay, let's go to the book of Habakkuk. First, I'm going to go to the book of Habakkuk. Let's see. Where's Habakkuk at? There it is. And we're going to go to the second chapter, verse 12. Let's go to Habakkuk 2 and 12. All right. Woe to him in the chat. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. America was built on blood. Bloodthirsty savages had the nerve to call the Native Indians savages, had the nerve to call us savages. When it says right here in the Bible, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquities. Cyrus Carmack. All right. And the other young brother that's facing that guy, that 35 years. All right. Woe unto them. This nation has the future plan to annihilate all of us. Has a future plan to keep us quiet, keep us downtrodden. They bring billions and billions of dollars to other countries just to keep us down. They bring billions of dollars to China, sent the manufacturing companies overseas. I remember back in Pennsylvania when the brothers was working in the steel mills, and they were doing good, making money, driving nice cars. But when I got there at the time, they told me how it was, and everything started going downhill for them when they took them steel factories and took them overseas and closed down the warehouses. Then all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of bars opening up. Brothers is in bars drinking themselves to death, unaliving each other because of the bloodthirstiness and the greed and the lust of our oppressor, man. Our oppressor is the most wickedest nation upon the face of the earth. That's why the Lord said he will have an everlasting war against Amalek. Understand? Amalek is your fake folks over there calling themselves the chosen people, fighting the Palestinians. That's Amalek. Their father is Amalek. That's the one with them Shylocks. All right, that's the one with them yarmulkes. That's the ones with the gefilte fish and the matzah balls, matzah soups and matzah balls and all that. Understand, man, they have this thing has been laid out so intricately woven within the pattern of this society that we can't get nowhere. We couldn't get nowhere. You know, it's like we call it a sheep's peg. Pegs. We following in pegs and ditches and snares and traps. You understand? And it's about to be, the good news, it's about to be over. They know that it's close. The devil knows that his time is close. So he walks about these streets seeking whom he can devour. That's why we get pulled over in these get these traffic tickets and get unalive after getting pulled over. Philando Castile. All right. Understand, Sandra Bland. Understand what happened. That happened to our sister Sandra Bland as well. Philando Castile got unalive right in front of his family in the car. The sister had to put the video out. She put the video camera out and taped it. I know she was scared to death, thought they was going to unalive her and her kids. And you could hear his kids in the background. Yet you say we must love you. We must go along with the flow. You all right when we go along with the flow. We playing basketball, figure New York is won now, or the Knicks won. While the Puerto Ricans in there are still getting persecuted in New York, in Spanish Harlem. They still getting persecuted in downtown LA, in East LA. Understand? In Santa Monica. All right. Los Angeles. All right. Still getting unalive. Still getting unalive. Getting 35 years. Getting unalive for 4 bottles of water. 4 bottles of water. All right. There was no reason why that boy was unalive. There's no reason. And then you got to remember Latasha Harlins. You got to remember Latasha Harlins as well. That was in Mid-Wilshire district of Los Angeles, got shot by the old Korean lady, store owners. We need to come back to get our stores and become independent so that we have a plan. We need a plan. Besides America's plan, let America do what they do, because the Lord is going to take care of them. Understand? That's why it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Woe means destruction. Woe means destruction, and it's coming. All right? It's coming. And get a Lord a hand. Get a Lord a hand. Because that's what's coming to our enemies, man. That's our enemies right there. They want to do away with civil rights. They want to do away with civil rights. You know what I mean? And that's going to take us back. And civil rights is only 53 years old. Civil rights is not old. There's people still living on the earth when civil rights got put into work and put into operations. When they put civil rights into operation, people still walking the earth when that happened. People acting like that happened in the 1800s or something. That was 1964. You know what I mean? That's 53 years. They're trying to turn all the hands of time back, taking all the monuments down. That's their plan. Take all the monuments down about slavery in the South. Take all the monuments down. Take the artifacts and take all the signs that pertains to the so-called Negro and put it away. Shut it up in a door. That's what you've been trying. That's what they've been doing. That's their plan. Their plan is total lies. I'm going to go to John chapter 8 and verse 44. John chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil. You know who's speaking? You know who's saying this? Christ was saying this. This is what Christ said about the Sadducees and Pharisees, about the YT man, because the Sadducees and Pharisees are straight up pawns of the YT man, because that was Rome. Christ's greatest enemy was Rome. Christ was a black man, understand? So Rome was his biggest enemy besides the Sadducees and Pharisees, and he said, ye, this is John chapter 8, verse 44, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do, Epstein Island. The lust of your father you will do, Epstein Island. See, it's naturally within him to go astray, as we read before, to go astray, naturally in it. All right? He was a murderer from the beginning. A murderer from the beginning. All right? Manchester, who was it? Who was that? Who was that? Health, who did Helter Skelter? Charles Manson, Gacy in Chicago, molesting them boys, Epstein Island, and Trump is implicated in this too. In Epstein Island, he was a murderer from the beginning. Now I don't know whether Trump murdered anyone, but I know that that's what they do when they go in this school shooting everybody. School shooting all the time. All right. What was that? That was Sandy Hook. In Sandy Hook. And you know, in that church. Okay. So if he was a murderer from the beginning, what do you think that he's going to do to us? That's right. Exactly. Unalive. So you got all these politicians and all of these MAGA people out there getting bold and strong and coming up and attacking our people as well. See it all on society, man. All on the internet and everything. You see them trying to attack us, disrespect us, and do all these things, man. This is why. You was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. You didn't live in the truth. I didn't have sex with that lady. That's what President Clinton, former President Clinton said. Yet it was oral. Okay. There is no truth because there is no truth in him. There is no truth in him. All the things that they promised that would happen. Look at all the misconceptions and all of the lies and half truths that Trump is saying about the Iranian war. He's gonna stop. The war's gonna end. He's been saying the war is gonna end ever since the war started, and it still hasn't ended. And it's still the Hormuz Strait, the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. Trump was worried about getting his own money. His other plan was building his money, building some kind of that's like a Chuck E. Cheese thing by the White House. Building that little establishment on the side and stuff. Looking like and having the UFC go over there and fighting it. That little trying to make it an arena or whatever. and it looked like one of the little jump when you take your kid and get him one of those jump things. You rent a jumper a jumper game equipment, you know, getting out there on trampolines and stuff like that. You know, that's for children. It's for children. Here's a grown man, damn near what he's in his 70s or something, 70s, 80s, whatever, still getting trampolines and and jump houses. All right, trying to do all these things, paying yourself while we're at war. Oil prices sky high, inflation, you know, sky high. You understand? Interest rates sky high, making everything out of reach. America's plan for us is to keep everything out of reach for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. They even had a book that portrayed the black images of the characters in the Bible, like John, James, Paul, Peter, Christ himself, okay, Elijah. It's called the Russian Icons, but they make sure the book costs $3,000. They have the other book out there. What is it? I had Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. They had that out there, but that book costed what? I think about 500, something like that. They made it way out of the reach of the average Black American, so-called Black American, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian can't afford these books to come and find the truth, because Lost Tribes and Promised Lands revealed that the 10 tribes of Israel migrated to the Americas. It's in the book of Ezra. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Make sure that this is copacetic here. And you know, that's what they want to do. They want to make sure that you don't know nothing. But Putin bring it out. Putin bring it out. And they got pissed off. He bring it out to Trump. He said that the images in the Bible through the Russian icons show black images. Okay, black images of the apostles, of the 12 disciples, of Christ, of Peter, Paul, Elijah, John the Baptist, James. You understand? And then we realizing that the Christian church didn't tell us until late. ISUPK been saying since 1969 that Christ was black, that God himself is black. Okay? They've been hiding that. You understand? But now it's been revealed. Okay? And abode not in the truth. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. I'm still at John 8:44. Abode means to live. He didn't live in the truth because there is no truth in him. There's no truth in the YT man. There's no truth in America. There's no truths that America tells to the citizens when it really comes down to their well-being. They take the food and they put all chemicals and pump up all the chemicals in it so bad that you're getting cancer, that you're getting diabetes, that you're getting high blood pressure and hypertension, you know, that you're going blind, that you're getting all these cancers, prostate cancer, lung cancer, liver cancer, cancer of the kidneys, failing of the kidneys, the failing of the liver, all these things because these foods are now so polluted. It's a good job you did, America. Good job you did with ruling the world, with ruling the most powerful nation. And then you act like the people who made it powerful didn't even work. Okay? When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. You understand? America's plan is to tell a giant lie and swear up and down that it's the truth. Okay? Now, the very people who built America, he turns around and acts like we didn't build it. The slaves built this place. Alabama became one of the biggest agricultural giants in the world because we were picking that cotton. We was picking that corn, that sugar cane, that barley, all right, that wheat. You understand? We were doing that, okay? We were building these places up, making them big, and biggest thing in agriculture. But see, I'm at the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. But this is what's going to happen. This is the plan that the Most High made for us. Then shall the righteous man, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. We're going to be great and bold before the face of such as have afflicted him. America's been afflicting us since its origin. America has been afflicting us ever since it got started. Ever since it got started. We took care, our sisters took care of their children. You know, if you want to get a good idea of it, look at that movie Gone with the Wind. Very American classic movie, Gone with the Wind. Mammy, the character that played Mammy, she was a slave that took care of those white children, raised them, burped them, and birthed them. Not birthed them, but burped them, raised them, took care of them. While the oppressor was out doing who knows what, probably molesting and raping and pillaging and stealing everything that he possibly could that's not nailed down. Because he's such a liar. Okay. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before such that had afflicted him and made no account of his labors. See, he made no account of our labors, of our works. Oh, you didn't do that. We did it. But they go swear, but now you didn't do that. It wasn't nothing. You're telling a lie. So you fit in the description. Usual suspects. The YT man is the usual suspect. He fit the descriptions of a liar. He fit the descriptions of a child molester. He fit the descriptions of an unaliver. He fits the descriptions of a thief. He fits the description of a rapist. He fits the description of a school shooter. He fits the description of a wayward individual, a vagabond, going throughout the earth, running from himself. He running from the Lord, and the Lord has him cornered. He ain't going nowhere. Okay? Counted our labors as nothing. Man, that's terrible, man. People died in slavery. People were unalived in slavery. You understand? When they see it, verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Yeah, that's coming. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. You're going to be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation because it's going to be so far beyond what you expected. Okay? So far beyond all they looked for. Okay? I'm going to go down to verse 4. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. They accounted our lives to be madness and end without honor. Now look at the plan. Look at what happened to this boy that got chased out there into the field and got shot, unalive, shot in the back like a coward. They shot him like a coward in the back. All right. We're going to go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18. We're going to go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18. They hunt our steps. They hunt our steps. Hunting our steps. Mr. Chow hunted Cyrus Carmack's steps. They hunt our steps. We cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. That boy was unalive. Our days are fulfilled. The days are complete. It's over. It's finished. For our end is come. You understand? And that not only was it a Moabite, so-called Chinese person, but really a Moabite that did this. Not only was it him, but his spirit was the spirit of the YT man, who gave him a full indoctrination when he came to America of how he should treat so-called Negroes and Hispanics and so-called Native Indian people. Okay, so much so that he felt empowered to unalive that boy, unalive that young man. All right. Verse 19, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. Eagles is a symbolic of America. Okay. They pursued us upon the mountains and laid wait for us in the wilderness. You understand? They pursued us everywhere to make sure they will unalive us. The origin of the police department were the slave catchers. The origin of the police, I'm going to say it again, the origin of the police department are the slave catchers. They were the slave catchers. Whenever a slave would run off the plantation, they had the slave catchers go get him. Okay, and bring him back to the plantation to serve in slavery. Okay. So look at what they would do and how they would be. Fast forward to modern times. You got Sandra Bland pulled over, even though she was running her mouth. If she was with a black man, her man, if she would have had a husband in that car, he would have told her to shut up. But she was just talking. She had no how would you say it? She had no accountability for getting shot and killed like that. She didn't deserve to get unalived like that. Okay. So that's the modern day slave department, the police department. Rodney King, police department. All right. Philando Castile, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Akai Gurley, Alton Sterling. All right. To name just a few of those who were unalived by the modern day slave catchers. Okay. Modern day slave catchers. That's who they are. That's the origin of the police department. Tell the truth. Like our folks used to say, tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell the truth, shame the YT man. Because he all up in his feelings. He's all up in our chats, all up in everybody's chats. Now, you look at on every social media. You look at on Instagram, Facebook, Scoops, YouTube. They all coming out the background trying to defend what their ancestors did and what they did. See, those white hoods of the KKK were taken off, and they were saying, "Hi, hello, good morning, how you doing? I love you. You should love everything. God loves everybody." Well, I got bad news for y'all folks that believe that. He don't. The Lord don't love everybody. You understand? The Lord don't love everybody. We're going to go to Isaiah 40 and verse 15. This is the book of Isaiah, verse 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust in the balance. You take a little drop out of a bucket. What a bucket holds? A bucket could hold 30 gallons of water. That's way more than a little drop. But the nations are like that little drop that's left over after you shake that bucket, after you poured all those gallons out, and then you shake that bucket, and you shake it as much, and then you shake it just a little bit. That's the nations. That's how the Lord sees it. That's not how Officer Shadrach says. Officer Shadrach is reading from the Bible. And it says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust in the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. All right. The Lord loves the 12 tribes of Israel. He chose Jacob. Understand? Yeah, the Lord is racist. Call us a cult because the Lord is racist and the Lord does hate. Okay, now that's the plan and the lay down of America. But let's go to let's prove it again. I'm look at 2nd Ezra 6 and 56. 2nd Ezra 6 and 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, because we all came from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. I'm going to say it again. Thou hast said that they are nothing, but like unto spittle. Other nations are like nothing, but unto spittle, Mr. Child, and all the rest of you heathens out there. All the rest of you heathens that tried to cover up the fact that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of Israel. All the other nations that had a hand in our destruction. Okay? Nothing but like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Just like a drop of a bucket. A vessel holds liquid. A drop from a vessel. Okay? That's 2 examples of what the Lord thinks about other nations. Let's go to the book of Psalms 147. Let's go to Psalms 147 and verse 19. Psalms 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob. He showed his word unto Jacob. Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. His statutes and judgments unto Israel. Okay. If y'all don't know the Bible, Jacob's name was turned to Israel. His name was changed to Israel when he wrestled that angel all night, and he didn't let that angel go until he said, bless me and I'll let you go. He wrestled that angel, and that angel blessed him. And they changed Jacob's name to Israel. Jacob had 12 sons, which comprised the 12 tribes of Israel. ISUPK has the 12 tribe chart. Understand? That explains that we are Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. And those are the 12 tribes, the 12 sons of Israel. Understand? That's who we descend from. We're the salt of this earth, the season of this earth, man. God's chosen. See, you put us on the bottom, but we're about to rise to the top. Understand? To the top. You know what I mean? All right. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. Now pay attention to verse 20. Psalms 147 and verse 20. We went from 19, verse 19, verse 20. It says, he hath not dealt so. So he didn't deal so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Understand that. He didn't deal with any other nation. He gave Jacob the law, statutes, and commandments. He gave us those commandments. That's why we're suffering so much in this world, because we walked away from those commandments. Just as in the example of the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. You understand? Which said that we would go into slavery in verse 68 of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Okay? He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. You didn't know God's judgment. You run around like you are such an angel. You know so much of what we should do. Well, we should follow you and brown nose you and live in this terrible place of America with you under your rulership, your Democrats and Republicans, your congressmen, your CEOs, your CFOs, chief financial officers, chief executive officers, under your organizations, under your mismanagement of the climate change, of the climate, your mismanagement of the earth. taking everything out of the earth, not even letting the earth rest when you plant and harvest in crops, doing sharecropping, making us work to death, making our forefathers work for death and still never earning and owning that land that they built. Look up that movie called what is it called? The Honor, Man of Honor. All right, with Cuba Gooding Jr., Men of Honor. His father was a sharecropper, one of the best Navy divers, right? His father was a sharecropper. And he even said it in the movie, I will never own this land. And it's facts that we never owned land that we were supposed to have shared that crop with this YT man. He's a liar. Our Native Indian people say it. They say the YT man speaketh with a forked tongue, which means he's a liar, man. We just read it. You understand that Esau is his father. Esau sold his birthright for the beginning of the Bible. His plan was of his own. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. His plan was his own agenda. That's America's agenda, their own agenda. America is a corporation. It's not a country, it's a corporation. You understand? It's a big money exchange, resource exchange, you know, exports and imports, but took all the manufacturing out just to make sure that we as so-called Negroes and Hispanics would never get more prosperous by working in manufacturing jobs. All we wanted to was to have a house and land like anybody else. Why you think we're talking about 40 acres and a mule? Because that's what you promised, and then you still lied about that. Yeah, you understand? We're gonna go to I'm gonna tell you something, man. The Lord says you are a special person. You guys chosen people, this is what he says about you. This is what he says about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Understand? This is why we can't go for that America's plan for us. America's plan for us is destruction, darkness, slavery, captivity, taking away of your rights, bringing back the Jim Crow laws. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jim Crow laws and the pig laws come back and the redlining comes back, which is still here anyway. All right? I wouldn't be surprised if they reinforce the Willie Lynch laws. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art a holy people, man. Holy people unto the Lord thy God. We're a holy people under the Lord our God. Our God's name is Yahweh in the Hebrew. Our God is Yahweh, not no Yahweh. That's that's the YT man version of Hebrew, because he don't know Hebrew. He really don't, because he speaks Yiddish. He speaks that Yiddish, ancient Hebrew. His name is Yahweh. All right. We are a chosen people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people, above all people. Sound like what they call the YT supremacy, but it's not. It's the chosen of the Most High, because he chose us. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. I didn't say it. Go argue with the Most High. Go argue with the Most High. I didn't say it. It's written in this book that's 4,000 years old. A 4,000-year-old book that still is above all books, that proves all things. The Lord said to search and prove all things. ISUPK has done that under the command of General Yohana. Understand? I'm giving General Yohana a shout out. General Yohana of the ISUPK established and kept this school going so that we would learn the real truth And we've been telling you since 1969 that the white T man is the devil the Bible speaks of. We already read it in John 8:44 that he's an unaliver and a liar from the beginning. Okay. Above the face of the earth. That's what he wrote. You understand? He chose us above all the people on the face of the earth, man. We are not to fall for America's plan. Okay. Let me look. Give me a second. I'm gonna look on. I'll let y'all know in a second. All right. Now, I'm gonna read this here. This is the prophet Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, and we'll go from verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me. This is Ezekiel saying this, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Mount Seir is the origin place of Esau, the white T man. He's from Mount Seir. Okay. The Most High abolished him, banned him to go into the mountains. Okay. The book of Obadiah speaks of it too. That live in the clefts of the rocks. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Okay. Verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Okay. Verse 3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Verse 4, I will lay cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5, listen real close to this one. This is America's plan. Because America is run by the white T man, the sons of Esau. Okay? Because thou has had a perpetual hatred, and you call us haters. Thou has had a perpetual hatred. Try to act like the guys, you hold the guise of love, yet in your heart, you have that hate. Okay? And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Mr. Child, KKK, you Aryan and skinheads, all of y'all did that. You have a perpetual hatred. A perpetual hatred for the children of Israel. Let's look up what the word perpetual means. Thou hast had since you had a perpetual hatred. All right. Let's see what that means. I'm in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I'm going to look up the word perpetual. Okay. And it says perpetual, continuing, forever, everlasting, perpetual motion, valid all the time, holding something such as an office or life for life, holding an office for life. So this is holding hatred for life, for an unlimited time. The Lord said you had a perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. And it's self-evident in today's modern times, in the current events. Gave that boy 35 years. Anthony, I forget his name. 35 years for self-defense. They found a tape. He was getting whooped. He was getting beat down by 4 people. He didn't have a gun. He was getting beat down by 4 people. What would you do? What would you do? Wouldn't you defend yourself? To me, that's a God-given right. Understand? In our school, we not no Christians. I mean, you have to defend yourself, man. They're gonna come and unalive you. Okay? Except it turned when the tables turned, because he was the right complexion, all of a sudden, this boy get 35 years. All right? Perpetual, blooming continuously throughout the season. The synonyms is ceaseless, continual, continuing, continuous, incessant, nonstop, running, unbroken, unceasing, uninterrupted, unremitting. See, yeah, that type of hatred toward the children of Israel. We still dealing with what? Voters' rights. Even though we don't vote in this school, we don't vote. We get voting. Even though our ancestors was unalive trying to do that, just trying to conform to this country. But we still got to fight for that. We still got to live in these ghettos. And then you act like, then when you see the behaviors of my people, which ain't pretty, which ain't good, it's not right to unalive each other. And it's not good to act all crazy and sisters beating up sisters and all of that, man. I'm not for that. We're not for that in this school. It don't happen in this school. You understand? Because the Most High is with us. You understand? That's not right, but that's the product of what's been happening to us psychologically, spiritually, and physically. Abuse, ceaseless, continuous, perpetual hatred, segregation, getting held back, getting put back. All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shabarakathash, Trooper Shalat. What's going on there, brother? All right, man. Welcome. All right. So it says, thus saith the Lord, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out my hand. Okay, we read that already. We'll go back to verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. How many times you got to shoot a brother to unalive him? How many bullets they gave that boy? You know how many bullets they've given to so many of our brothers in these streets, man? So many Hispanics out there. You know, you would act crazy too if you would go through what we went through. They had I forget, there was a show where there was a white tea lady, an older white tea lady, and she exposed it. She said, how many of you sitting in this audience would choose to live the life of a black man? None of them put their hand up because they know how we're getting treated. They know how we're getting treated. You understand? They know what they're doing is wrong. Okay? But they won't raise their hand as to set a foot in our shoes. Walk down the street. The ladies clutch their purses when I walk down the street. You understand? They serve everybody, and then they serve me. Then they start with all the things I cannot have. All the things that they refuse to have. And I bet you some of those things they had in there for me as a customer. When I'm at a store or a mall or whatever, or a restaurant, they probably had them, but they wouldn't give it to me. And oh, Shalom, Yahweh Shemala Thaba Hashem Yahweh Shah, Sister Kapah, welcome, sis. And you know, all these things. And a prime example, we had to go back to the game again, even though I don't want to go to it, but in New York Knicks, not even the game. When I went to New York to go to a restaurant, I'm with my brothers and sisters. My sister wanted a sweatshirt, and the restaurant staff said she couldn't get the sweatshirt because it was after hours and all of that. All right. You know what? I called my brother, and he said that they were treating him disrespectful even when he was in the restaurant in New York, one of the top-notch restaurants. All right. And he said, and when I got there, I wanted one of the sweatshirts. All right. And My father told me to go there to eat when he was alive. So it held a great significance for me to get the sweatshirt after I get my meal. And my sister wanted it. I looked at one of the other staff members who was in charge, and he looked at me, and we had that little New York state of mind right there. And it just hit me back. It flashed me back to where I'm from. And he said, no. Give them the sweatshirts. Sell them sweatshirts right there. And I got the sweatshirt. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, but that shows you how much they want to keep us down. And this is just a little thing, a light thing. All right, where they could have did it. They could have gave us the 40 acres and a mule. Every man needs a land. Every man needs money in his pocket or a resource or a crop that he could grow his grains and grow his wines and his grapes, you know, in his vineyards, and also keep his stock of cattle, sheep, buffaloes, chickens, turkeys, and all of that. But he can't get it. Black farmers have been, how would you say it? They have been suffering and afflicted as well over the years for many decades. All right. So that perpetual hatred stands firm. That hunting us in the streets stands firm. That unaliving us stands firm. All right. Those molestations, the border patrols, ICE, and all of that is constituted and planned and premeditated for us to be destroyed, to destroy us, period. So don't come at us with all that I love, God loves everybody. Don't come at us with that you love everybody, because you don't. And I'm so glad our sisters are waking up and getting them beauty shops. Boy, when got me stuttering. When Mama's chicken comes out down the street, I'm gonna definitely get over there and get me some oxtails, get me some lamb chops, get me some fried chicken. All right, yeah, that's what we like. We like the fried chicken and the watermelon, but we make food way better than you anyway, so it ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. Esau has always been a thorn in our side, man. Has always tried to unalive us, has always carried out the unalive. Want to believe it? How many bodies does the KKK have? About 300,000 bodies they have. All that blood on their hands. How many bodies does ISUPK have? I'll wait. Now I'm not going to wait. 0. Call us a cult? Yeah, right. The biggest cult is the KKK, the Christian church, the Catholic church, and even them Islam, them Islamic things. We're not Arab people, so a black man has no business in Islam. No business in Islam. We're not Arabic. We don't come from Ishmael. We come from Isaac. Isaac was chosen over Ishmael. Isaac was chosen by the Most High God. It says it in Deuteronomy 7:6. You understand? We don't have no dealings with the Arabs. We should have no dealings with the Africans. No dealings with them except business. Except business. You want to trade? Okay, I'll trade with you. You want to buy something? We'll sell it to you. You understand? But you have made sure we couldn't get that because you destroyed Wall Street. You destroyed Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, you destroyed it. You bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma. You understand? You flooded Lake Lanier. You drove us out of Seneca Village, which was Central Park. That was Central Park. You know what I mean? So there it is. That's one of the biggest plans to destroy us. And it's intricate, man. It's so intricate. You turned our sisters against us. You turned our sisters. The average black woman says, I don't need a man. The average black woman says, I don't need a man. And he should take care of my kids that I had with another man. Ain't that wild? Here it is, they coming in second and acting like they first because you gave them illusion. They'll do everything for you at the job, but when they get home and talk with their husband, they'll say, I don't got to listen to you. You ain't my daddy. I blame the YT man. All these things are his fault. When you arguing with your sister, you arguing with your mother, you arguing with your woman, your wife, your rib. That's the spirit, a masculine spirit of the YT man. That's the YT man spirit you're arguing with, that you're going up against. And I don't mean no brothers going out here getting physical with their women. No, we love our sisters despite all of that. However, what we argue and get at odds, it's the YT man's fault. It's Esau's fault. It's the one who comes from Mount Seir. Okay? It's his fault. Because thou, Ezekiel 35:5, I know it's the third time I'm saying it, but because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquities had an end, the time that our sins had an end. See, we walked away from the law, statutes, and commandments is the reason why we're in the situation we are in the first place. But the Lord had already gave us that punishment. But our oppressor, the YT man, has doubled our affliction. He kept our affliction going on even in 2026. And this book was written 4,000 years ago. You understand? The King James Version of the Bible, preferably the 1611 King James Version, which has the Apocrypha in it. All right? That was 4,000 years ago, some odd. All right? And still, they furthered our affliction. They trying to take away Trump, take away all of the slavery, all of the artifacts, all of the information tables, all of those statues and things of slavery and what his people have done to our people, man. So that's fair, huh? You on top and us on the bottom. But when we say that we're going to be on the top and you're going to be on the bottom, you don't want to trade places. So let me go to the book of Revelation and see what the Lord, let's see what the Lord says about all this. Let's see what the Lord says about this. If any man have an ear, let him hear. So anybody willing to listen, let him listen. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity. Captivity is slavery. He that leads slavery. Sound familiar? Shall go into captivity, slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Okay? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. We have to be patient. Because that's their plan, to enslave us and unalive us. But we have to be patient. We have to wait on our King, Yahushua, Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew. We have to wait on our King to come back with that sword, because he's going to tear down strongholds when he come back with the sword. Understand? Give me a second here. A little bit. You know, all these things going on, man. It's a damn terrible shame. It's a terrible shame. You know, but it must happen. This has been prophesied. Okay. I'm going to go to Matthew 10 and verse 34. I'm going to go to Matthew 10 and verse 34. All right. Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. You got Russia and Iran. You got Israel and the United States against Iran. You got North Korea, South Korea looking at each other. You got Taiwan and China looking at each other. You know what I'm saying? You got Pakistan and India. You got the European nations. They all are going to be driven into war. They're all are going to be driven into the final war. The final war. Okay? But at that time, during that battle, this is what's going to happen. Matthew 10:34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And this is written in red in most Bibles because this is written are the very words of Christ speaking in the Bible. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and daughter against her mother, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 36, and a man's foes shall be of his own household. Understand that. Christ is coming back with a sword, man. He's going to make sure that all the strongholds in this earth are going to be taken down. All of the strongholds are going to be taken down. You understand? All these wicked establishments that are back behind the Illuminati, back behind the Rosicrucians, back behind the Triateralists, back behind the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs. Understand? Back behind those families. Understand? Those rich families. Back behind the Queen of England, King of England, all of that. That won't give you a grunion, won't give you a speck, all right, of anything that's worth it, but will make you work till you bleed, till you unalive in their factories, on their fields, all right, in their warehouses, all right. If they have any manufacturing left, you understand? They gave it to China, but they were so how would you say it? They were so foolish with it that China became a powerful country and now is looking at the United States like you ain't jack and fronting it in front of President Trump. Okay? They ain't scared and they have nuclear weapons because you didn't want to give it to the black man. Now look what happened. Silly nonsense. But it's going to destroy you. All right, let's go to the book of Obadiah. Book of Obadiah, chapter 1. And let's see. I'm going to go to verse 7. This is Esau. Remember, the white man's father is Esau. Verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? See, he got to hide everything because he's a liar. He has to hide all these things, all these trust funds and establishments and bonds and stocks and gold and all the precious metals, the uranium, all these different things, you know, pearls and diamonds and rubies and emeralds, all these different things. He hides these things under pencil and paper, under vaults, underground, everywhere, but where you could get it with everywhere, but where you could reach it, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. He could have got rid of the ghettos and the barrios and the reservations a million times over with all the money that he has, and still the homelessness in downtown Los Angeles, in San Diego, the rats in downtown Skid Row. They almost as big as the New York City rats. They're as big as the New York City rats now. Sheesh, man. When I went through there, man, I looked and said, man, look at this, man. Look at this filthiness. Look at the despair and hopelessness of God's children. The Lord heard the cries of Israel, heard the cries of Judah, heard the cries of Israel. You understand? Heard the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian cries, because the sins have reached heaven, man. They've reached heaven, and the Lord is angry. Christ is going to come back with them red eyes, because he's a Negro. When Negroes get moved, we get mad, our eyes get red. And you better watch out, boy, because you're going to be in trouble. You're going to FAFO. You know what I mean? So, verse 7, we're still in the book of Obadiah. All the men of thy confederates have brought even thee to the border. The men that are at peace with thee has deceived thee. China was at peace with you, America, but they deceived you. They deceived you. Now their money and their dollars are stronger than yours. All right? And prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee. China ate your bread, America. China ate your bread. Now they laid a deadly wound underneath you. Okay? There's none understanding in him. Esau has no understanding in him. He acts like he's so intelligent, but he's not. He acts like he's intelligent, but he's not. You understand? Esau has to live by the edge of the sword. He'll be a vagabond in the earth, and the way he'll make his gain is by unaliving and bullying. And who's the biggest bully? America. In the world, America. The biggest bully. So much so now the countries are turning against America. You understand? Even in Vietnam, the Viet Cong said, oh boy, black man, go home. This is not your fight. Black man, go home. How I know? I heard it out of the mouth of veterans that I know personally from Vietnam. We had two wars, the War of Vietnam and the war at home for civil rights. You know what I mean? Verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? The Lord is going to destroy you wise men from Germany that build all those. You know, Germany had the best tanks in the world. Germany had the best tanks, artillery tanks in the world, man. The Panzers. America was afraid of those German Panzers in World War II. Okay? They did a lot of destruction, but they were the wise men, the engineers. Okay? But they're still Esau. America, you know, the one who runs America, our oppressor, the YT man, and the Germans, those are still sons of Esau. They're still of the same bloodline. Okay? Shall I not in that day even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? Out of the mount. The mount is the government. See, this is not literal. This is the government of Esau. Okay? Verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman. Teman, when you look it up, are the descendants and clans of the German people. Teman. Look it up. And the mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Most High wants to slaughter you, Esau. He wants to slaughter you for slaughtering God's chosen people. You understand? Trail of tears. Trail of tears, where the infants' heads were getting dashed against the trees and the skulls busted open. Okay? Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. and thou shalt be cut off forever. Lord is going to cut you off forever, man. And you know that's who it is. You know what's going on. The heads of this world, the head of the world is America. What does it say about the heads of the world? The ones who run the world. What does the Bible say about it? It says in Job 9 and verse 24, we're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, and I can't pronounce his name, Zhao Xiaojing, the Chinese dude that runs China, and everybody else, Vladimir Putin, all right, Zelensky. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. We spoke a little while back about the Russian icons and about how they whitewashed everything in there and raised the price of that book to $2,000 so that if you live in the ghetto and you on GR, you can't get no book called The Russian Icons and find out the true history of your ancestors. All right. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See, if not where, you ain't saying it's the YT man, then who is he that runs this earth? Who is he that covered the faces of the judges? What did they cover the faces of the judges? What do the judges look like now as compared to what they look like in the Russian icons? As compared to what they look like in other books that shows the true images of the prophets of the Bible, of God's chosen people. Then you find out and know that God is black. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Understand this, man. This is all according to his plan. All has never been preached in the churches. The pastors never bring these things up. Never, and they stare them right in the face. But when you talk to a Christian, they barely know the stories of the Bible. I've spoken to many Christians back then, and they barely know the stories of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So this is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld, see, Daniel was a vision. He could vision dreams and interpret dreams. He interpreted dreams in our captivity in Babylon under King Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel was the one that was interpreting dreams that Nebuchadnezzar had about the golden statue with the golden head, the silver body, the bronze and legs and the brass feet. Okay. Daniel interpreted that and told him that's what it was for the future and what it was for the future of his kingdom, even though he was in captivity. So this is what Daniel said. This is his dream. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. The thrones are the what do you call it? The thrones are the establishments and the governments of this earth, like the strongholds. The thrones were thrown down. The strongholds were thrown down. Daniel was talking about the future. He was prophesying the future to the king, Nebuchadnezzar. All right. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days. Understand? The Ancient of Days. Who's the Ancient of Days? That's the Most High God, Yahweh. He's the Ancient of Days. Ancient of all days. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Understand? The Most High God. All right. And the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow. He had on a garment that was white as snow. Okay. And the hair on his head like the pure wool. God's hair is like my hair on my chin and my hair that when I used to have an afro. All right. Woolly, white as wool. And the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame. The Lord was sitting on the throne that was like a fiery flame. And his wheels as burning fire. That's how you know God is black. He had woolly hair and he had spinners. He had rims on his throne, fiery wheels. When you in the hood, what do the brothers got? Those spinners on their tires, them spinners on their low riders. Even the Hispanics got it too, because they chosen too. Understand? Spinners. I mean, fiery wheels, man. They make them shiny. They look like fire anyway. When you're in the hood, they shine them damn wheels up, don't they? That's right. Because we have that spirit of the Lord in us. The Lord chose us. That's who we are, man. We are of royalty. All of the sisters that you see are princesses. They're not queens like they say. They're the daughters of Zion. Understand? They're princesses. That's royalty. Understand? We're the prophets, the priests and prophets and warriors of our nation, man. And we're going to rise up. We're going to rise again. Israel's going to rise again. And the Lord will have mercy on Israel. All right? So that's how you know the Most High is black. Let me get to this other one. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me for 1 minute. We're going to go to Isaiah 14, verse 1. Book of Isaiah 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. See, the Lord will have mercy on his chosen people. He's going to have mercy on Jacob. He's going to have mercy on us for celebrating Christmas, for celebrating this upcoming evil Father's Day, for celebrating Thanksgiving, for celebrating Easter, Mother's Day, your birthday, for eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, for eating oysters, snapper turtle, swine, and catfish, all those unclean things. He's going to have mercy on us for that. All right? But we have to turn our ways first. We have to turn our ways. It's something that we have to do. Okay? But the Lord said, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. See, he will choose Israel. He didn't say every nation. So all you Christians out there talk about choose everybody in the world, no. He said, will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. That's a particular nation. Set them in their own land. There's many lands on the earth. There's borders and different geographical areas for different countries, nations, and tongues. But he said he will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. Understand that. All right. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their own, to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for the servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. We read that in Revelation. Said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Well, it says it again here because this is the precept. It says, and they shall take them captive, whose captives they were. We were slaves. So we're going to make the YT man is going to be a slave. All of the nonsense he's talking, everything in everything that he's done and all the nonsense he's talking, all the social stuff, he can bring up all that stuff till he'll turn purple. He can bring all that up. He can call us all those names and chipping out and being an ape and this and that when he looked like the damn gorilla. He looked like the damn chimpanzee anyway. They got straight hair and thin lips. We got woolly hair like the Most High God and thick lips, baby. All right. Take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. How you like that? Now let that sizzle in your spirit. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Think about it. So you didn't want to give me the 40 acres and a mule. So you wanted to redline me. You didn't want me to have the luxury apartment. You didn't want to give me no stocks and bonds and trusts for my children so that they'll be okay when I'm not here no more. You wanted to take the manufacturing and send it overseas to China so that I can't make no money. You damn near closed down the Motor City in Detroit, so there's no more automobile production. The steel mills got closed in Pennsylvania and Ohio. You understand? You did all those things. You unalived our people, man. You set up abortion clinics. You set up gun shops. You set up all these fake churches. All these churches of Christians you set up. When we were supposed to live the laws, statutes, and commandments. We were supposed to keep them laws, statutes, and commandments. Well, this happened in ancient times too, because see, that was the plan. The plan was just to exalt the king. The plan was to weaken our people by making us eat that pork. They did that way back in slavery. They had the joke in that movie, what's that movie, Boomerang, when the guy's father came over and said, we ate everything on the pig from the rooter to the tutor. Yeah, everything on the pig. When we're not even supposed to eat pig, because the dietary laws of Leviticus forbids the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man to eat all of those unclean meats that I mentioned previously. And he forbid us, period. Okay? So let me see. Now, this happened way back in the beginning. This 4,000-year-old book and stuff has not changed. The book of Ecclesiastes even says there's nothing new under the sun. This is First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that. Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian. The Macedonian is a Roman. That's the so-called YT man. That's Christ's biggest enemies. The Romans had a warrant on Christ. When Judas came to kiss Christ, he was a snitch and told them that the man that he kissed is the man that's Christ and that they should take him immediately. That's how Christ got arrested by the Roman Empire, the Roman soldiers, the centurions. And it happened after that. Alexander, son of Philip, in high school, you call Alexander Alexander the Great. He was Alexander the Great, and this is why they say he was. They say the Macedonian who came out of the land of Chetam. Chetam is the ancient name for Rome. And smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and the Medes. The Persians and the Medes, that's the Iranian people. Persia is Iran is ancient Persia. The Persian and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead, first over Greece. You know what Greece is, man. Come on. Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. He unalived the kings of the earth and went to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, inasmuch that the earth was quiet before him. Alexander, man, he was terrible. They called him the Great. That's why they called him the Great. The earth was quiet because he unalived all them kings. You understand? He did all the conquering in this place, man. He did all the conquerings and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, inasmuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. See, his ego and pride was lifted up. The heart is the mind in the Bible. Verse 4, and he gathered a mighty strong host. The host is armies, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. Verse 5, and after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Verse 6, wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted the kingdom among them while yet he was alive. While he was yet alive, Salaki. Verse 7, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Verse 8, and his servants bare rule, every one in his place. Verse 9, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did the sons after them. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth. See that? We already read the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is the YT man. That's why the YT man is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's why we say it on every street corner in camp, in the ISUPK. The ISUPK is the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge. Universal knowledge that you can practically use. Okay? Verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Verse 11, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. See, Israel was not supposed to be with every nation. We're not supposed to join with these nations. That's why we say get your mind out of America, man, if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Because we had Uncle Toms and sellouts that said, let's make a covenant with the heathen. They wanted to make a pact with the heathen. And you still have them today. They still want to join unto this nation, man. When the Lord says, come out of her, my people. Partake not in her sins. And I'm paraphrasing, but it says that in the book of Revelation. The Lord said, come out of her, my people. He wanted Israel to come out of America. Bring your mind out of this place, man. This place is going to burn for thermonuclear destruction. Don't be a part of it. You understand? It will never stand. There is no white picket fence no more. Okay? Wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we have departed from them, we had much sorrow. It says, since we left the YT man and all of this, we had much sorrow. Just like in Egypt, they said the same thing. They argued with Moses and wanted to go back to Egypt. Okay? Because Moses bring them out. The Lord charged Moses to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. But they started arguing and complaining and being bitter and stubborn. And we're still the same way this day. That's why we have this affliction. That's why they're over us. That's why the immigrants are over us. Because in the book of Deuteronomy, it says that he will make the stranger high above thee, and you shall be very low. Because those are the curses for not following God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain people were so froward, wherein they went to the king and gave him license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. So they started, we're going to do the rules of the heathen, not God's rules, not the Israelite way, but the way of the heathens. So you're going to celebrate Christmas. You're going to celebrate Easter. You're going to worship Baal. You're going to worship Ashereth. You're going to worship Chwin and Molech. You're going to worship them, okay? Jupiter and all of that. Zeus and all of that. You understand? And you wonder why you got high blood pressure. You wonder why you can't get a good job. You wonder why your woman don't respect you. You wonder why your child now is a criminal. You wonder why your sister is twerking. Your grandmama's twerking out there. Wake up, Israel. Wake up, my people. Wake up. Come back unto the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. You understand? And we'll fix our nation, man. We need to fix our nation. We need to really mend all of the wounds and all of the weak places that have taken and poisoned us and destroyed us and infected us with their customs and cultures. But that's what they did in these ancient times, okay? Watch this. I'm going to drop down to verse 20. This is 1 Maccabees 1 and verse 20. And after that, in Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 140th year and third year and went up against Israel with a great multitude. And verse 21, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlesticks of light and the vessels thereof. See, he didn't have no respect for Jerusalem, for Israelites. He went in there proudly and tore everything down. Let's see what he did further. This is the YT man, by the way. And the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold. So like, give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. All right. So this is what they did. Okay, this is what he did. And the censers of gold and the veil and the crowns and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. Verse 23, he took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. Verse 24, and he had taken all, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre. So he unalived a lot of people in the process of doing all this. Okay. And spoken very proudly. Didn't the Most High said Obadiah said that, didn't he say that Esau was proud, that pride had deceived thee? I'm paraphrasing, but he did say that. Okay. And you could see it in the YT's attitude and behavior and demeanor. He's very proud. He's real proud now. He's proud to come on now. With his MAGA people come on our lines and talk all that madness. Just remember that you're talking against the Lord. Not just me, but the Lord. And that's going to be so glorious when you fall. When you fall, I'm going to have me a good drink. Good drink, because I'm going to be drinking with Christ. I'll be drinking of the grape of the vine with Christ. And we're going to be sitting there looking at the destruction of you and your nation. Okay? Spoken very proudly. Verse 25. Therefore was a great mourning in Israel. Israel was mourning. Understand? And that's how you know that it's in the ghettos and the barrios. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go over quickly to Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2 real quick so you can see what it says there. This is how you know that Christ is a Negro. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. The gates are withering away. The gates are being destroyed. We're mourning. We mourned in Egypt. Under the pharaohs, we mourned as well. Okay? They are black. They're what? They're black. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Black people, so-called black people, with the Israelites, man. So-called Hispanic people, with the Israelites, man. So-called Native Indian people, with the Israelites, man. Make no mistake. Okay? Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were. Verse 26, so the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Okay. We'll go down to verse 29. And this is what's happening now with your taxes and all of the things that you're supposed to make. Like I said, there's no more there's no American dream anyway. That American dream was for the white team, man. It was never meant for us. It was never meant for us. Some of us got it, but as a nation, even have a whole nation, you can even fill up a neighborhood. It still won't be as many people that made it. Okay, that really made it. Okay. After 2 years, I'm in verse 29. After 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah. See, that's just like in Egypt, the tributaries. We were making tributes, cities, treasure houses for the Pharaoh as slaves. All right, under the Pharaoh in Africa, in Egypt. Okay, the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. Verse 30, and spoke peaceable words. Remember, the YT man is a liar. That's like just as Christ said he was a liar, as we read earlier in this class. And spoke peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city. That means he attacked the city. He spoke peaceable words, but it all was deceitful. And that's in my topic, the deception of America, man. All was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. Man, Cyrus and Anthony, you know, Eric Garner, Ahmaud Arbery, Rodney King, Akai Gurley, Assata Shakur, Breonna Taylor. All right. And verse 31, and when he had taken the spoils of the cities, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and the walls thereof on every side. Verse 32, but the men and women took they captive and possessions and chattel. Okay. Verse 33, they then builded they the city of David with a great strong wall and mighty towers and made it a stronghold for them. Verse 34, and they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. Verse 35, they stored it with armor and victuals. See, they changed the whole city of David for their benefit and made it a stronghold for them. Okay. Okay, they stored it with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together with the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. They became a trap. They became a trap for our people, man. That was a trap for our people. Them wicked people came in there and rearranged and changed the city of David. Verse 36, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Evil to Israel. See? Evil to the Israelites. And I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I'm not talking about no damn Israelis. I'm not talking about that one who calls himself a Jew. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It was a trap for us. This Bible is ours. This Bible is our Constitution. This is our Bible. And this is our time now. This is our time to rise above all the sin and wicked things that this place has been doing to us for generations and generations. This is time for us to rise. They talk about black fatigue. We got oppressor fatigue. We got over fatigue. Talking about, I'm going to sit up and put a knife to you and cut you up, and I'm going to tell you to smile and be laugh and say you happy to get cut. That's what they want to do. That's what they want us to do. That's what they want us to be during this affliction and during this time. They want us not to complain. Don't complain about it while I go shoot up some more schools, while I shoot up some more schools, while I raise some more taxes, while I poison some more food, while I make myself richer, while I molest, rape, and unalive your children and your daughters. Don't say nothing. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. All right. Thus they said, verse 37, thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and they defiled it. Okay. Let me see. Let me go down a little bit more. I'm going to go to verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, this is verse 41, that all should be one people. Don't they want to make you all one people? They say we all bleed red. That might be true, but they want to make us their people. I don't want to be Esau. I don't want to be in the kingdom of the Most High with Esau. I don't want to be nowhere near no Esau when the kingdom of God returns on earth. When Christ rules this place, I don't want to be in there with my oppressor, the one who I'm mourning for, my ancestors. When is the time they're going to pay for what they did? When are they going to pay? That's righteousness. That's why they say they will take captives whose captives they were. Okay, that's why it says, he that leadeth in the captivity shall go in the captivity. Don't get it twisted. Okay, don't get it twisted. Verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. See, they wanted us to leave our laws. We have a dietary law. We're not supposed to eat pig. We're not supposed to eat that damn shrimp. Shrimp is a roach. Lobster is a scorpion, and a crab is a spider. They just live in the water. Understand, the Lord said we're not supposed to eat that garbage, but they want us to eat that garbage so that we could be weak, so that the Lord won't come down and have revenge on us, man. I mean, revenge on them for persecuting us. That's why it's so imperative and important to get into the ISUPK and come into these classes and learn this truth and get into the righteous way of living, man. Live righteously, man. Understand? Be a brother to your brother and a sister to your sister. Be for real. Drop that hatred you have toward Hispanic people. Drop that hatred you have toward black people. Drop that hatred you have toward so-called Native Indian people. We are the same people, man. Realize that we are a nation, man. Realize that we are the chosen children of God. Realize that God chose us above all the nations of the earth. Understand that part. So it said, and verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. So all heathen agreed. So all the people that wasn't God's chosen people, they agreed according to the commandment of the king. See, according to Donald Trump, according to George Washington, according to Richard Nixon, according to the Bushes, according to Obama, according to who is that? FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and all the other presidents. They're the same kings of this earth, man. The same kings of Esau, the same Roman kings, the same Greek kings, the same ones. Because there's nothing new under the sun. They've been reincarnated and are the same spirit of Esau. And Esau has the spirit of Cain. And remember, Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Abel. Understand that. Esau has his spirit. Okay? That's an unalivened spirit. Okay? Yea, all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Verse 43, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. See, all the, they had that slavery Bible. Then you got Christianity. Then you got Catholicism. Then you got Islam. You got all these different religions, and religion is a man-made thing, man. It is not of God. The Christian church is not of God. The Catholic church is not of God. The Muslim mosque is not of God. God is the God of the Israelites, the God of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, in other words. Just like our general said, and just like I'm saying right here, point me to the nigger God. I'm going to serve the nigger God. You understand? God is a black man. Christ is a black man. Solomon was a black man. David was a black man. Elijah was a black man. Understand that. All right. Yea, I'm still in verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. See, they walked away from the laws. They got idols just like the heathen did. They wanted to be just like the heathen. That's why when you read the Bible, understand they act just like the way we act now in 2026. You put dreadlocks in your hair. Those dreadlocks are of an East Indian culture. That's not a black culture. That's not a so-called Negro culture to have dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is an East Indian god that wore those dreadlocks named Shia. Shia was that god, East Indian. Okay? Samson had 7 locks in his hair. Those were locks. Those were braids, in other words. Samson had cornrows in his hair. You can braid your hair, but you are not to have dreadlocks. If you come in this school, we're gonna make sure that you cut them off your head, man. Those things are filthy anyway. Even no matter how clean you say they are or whatever, those are filthy. They look disgusting. They look disgusting. But when a black man or black woman braids her hair, it's glorious. All right. They sacrificed the idols and profaned the Sabbath. Verse 44. For the king sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Verse 45, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days. Verse 46, and pollute the sanctuaries and holy people. 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh. Yeah, that's what it reads. Swine sacrifice swine's flesh. And you know swine is a pig. And unclean beasts. See? Unclean beasts in plural. They probably ate snakes. You know, your East Indian culture, those East Indian folks eat snakes. Those Chinese folks eat the pangolin and any unclean, disgusting thing. And so do the Africans. That's unclean for you, black man. That's unclean for you, Hispanic man. That's unclean for you, so-called Native Indian man. You're not to eat those things, man. That's unclean. The book of Leviticus clearly states that swine's flesh is unclean. That anything other than what is listed in the book of Leviticus that you should eat. The Lord gave us a dietary law that we should always stick to, no matter what. All right. And unclean beasts. Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanation. Verse 49, to the end they might forget the law and change all ordinances. See, the Lord wanted us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. What happened with that? Let me go to Deuteronomy. I believe it's chapter 4, verse 5. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. What did the Lord say about the laws, man? What did he say about these laws? And what Israel should do? Namely, what you should do as a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. All right? It says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5 says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. That means wherever you go, you are to keep God's laws, know God's laws, and keep God's laws, man. Come on, man. Where were y'all at Passover? Where were y'all at the Feast of Purim? Where were y'all at the Feast of the First Fruits? Where were y'all at the Feast of Trumpets? Where were y'all at Hanukkah? When did y'all even keep the Sabbath? Where were y'all at the Day of Atonement? You was too busy. You was too busy celebrating Easter. You were too busy waiting for 4th of July. You was too busy celebrating Father's Day. You was too busy celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving. And you was too busy celebrating Halloween. All of the things that the Lord says that you should not do, you did. This is why. And understand, this is why America was able to come up with such a great plan to keep you persecuted, to keep you afflicted, to keep you down, to keep you hopeless, to keep you depressed, to keep you with mental illness. That was a plan, man, intricately woven by the devil himself. And when I say devil, I mean the YT man, because devil means to deceive, deception. He deceived you with an ultimate plan, and you fell for it. You walked away from the law, statutes, and commandments of God. Well, come back. Just like you building up them nail shops now, sisters. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. The Lord wants Israel. He would that all Israel be saved, man. Which means he would that all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians be saved out of this kingdom, man. Out of this wicked establishment that we live under. That we suffer under. That's what he wants. All right. Behold, I taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. See, that's why they can't get rid of General Yohana. That's why they can't get rid of us in the ISUPK, police officers and captains. Understand? Because we keep God's laws, man. We keep God's laws. When you run out and get your Sunday suit and you go to church on Sunday, and you get how do you say, you get emasculated by your woman on Valentine's Day, and she was a 304 for the whole year, and just a loudmouth, overbearing, selfish, cruel woman. But you bring her flowers and chocolate, and you let her emasculate you. You let her do all these things to you like that. You gave her the power that you're supposed to have, because the order is Christ, the man, the woman, the children. That's the order. Because there's order in heaven, man. God has order where he lives. There's ranks and angels. There's archangels, and then there's angels. All right? There's order, man. You're supposed to have order in your house. You're supposed to be respected. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Let this nation, America, do what they want to do. Let them celebrate Thanksgiving. Let them celebrate 4th of July when we was 2/3 of a man. Or so they said. When we were still in chains, trying to coming off them slave ships. We were still working on them plantations, making them rich. You want to go out and have a barbecue on that day. Oh yeah, take the day off. You need them damn day off in this establishment because they work you to death. But that don't mean to celebrate their holidays, man. You are to celebrate God's holy days. You are to observe God's holy days and have a holy convocation, a holy gathering. That's what that means. You are not to fall into the plan that he has for you, so that you can fall, so that you could be destroyed, so that you could once again get on drugs, get on alcohol, get on all these things and destroy yourself. No, that's not what the Most High has for you. That is not what the Most High has for you. All right? It may seem hopeless now. It really seems hopeless, but it's not. It is not. It's far from hopeless. Far from it. One more second here, and I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to go to Romans 11 and 26. We're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. It didn't say all nations shall be saved. Why didn't it? Because the Lord chose Israel. That's why. It didn't say that at all. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. That means in the Old Testament. We're reading in the New Testament. There shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away the ungodliness of Jacob. From Jacob. All right. I'm going to get one more out here. One more. I'm just going to get one more out here. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Trump and his MAGA Trumpsters and Democrats and Republicans and Putin and all of those leaders, it's the end of your world. It's the end of Babylon. It's the end of our slavery. It's the end of our captivity. It's the end of the black man being disrespected. It's the end of the Hispanic man getting disrespected and mistreated. It's the end of ICE. It's the end of all of that. It's the end of the Trail of Tears. It's the end of his world. The end for Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning that followeth. All right. So be persevere and endure. And with that, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding General Yohana from 125th Street, Harlem, New York, teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Indians that you are the true children of God and bringing you the culture back and your customs back. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.